Welcome back to Cameras and Coffee. This is going to be a quick video. This is going to highlight the difference between MP4 and MOV files. This file you're looking at right now is an MP4 file at 24 megabits per second at 24p. This is the MP4 at 24 megabits per second at 24p. It's important that you notice how the different bit rates handle the highlights and shadows. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about right now. Watch the highlights around that cologne bottle in the back that's out of focus. And see how it manages that at the higher bit rates of the MOV file I'm getting ready to go to, which will be at 100 megabits per second. So I'm going to switch to that MOV format right now. Okay, this is the MOV 24p 100 megabits per second file. Did you notice a difference? Okay, this is the MOV 4K file, 100 megabits per second at 24p. This is the MOV 4K 100 megabits per second, 24p. Did you notice a difference? Okay, bonus round. This is DCI 4K, 100 megabits per second, 24p in the MOV format. What do you think? Were you able to tell the difference between any of the MOV files versus the MP4? I'm curious. Let's take a look at that MP4 file right now. This is that MP4 file, 24 megabits per second at 24p. Were you able to see a difference? This is MOV at 100 megabits per second, full HD at 24p. This is a profile I normally use. I think it looks pretty great. I don't have to mess with it much in post. Let's look at the MP4 file at 24 megabits per second at 24 frames right now. Okay, I switched formats. This is MP4 24 megabits per second at 24p. Did you notice any detail difference? It's a substantial bitrate drop. Maybe I lost some detail in my face, maybe I didn't, maybe you can't even tell. I'm excited for you to see this on the big screen instead of my flip out screen, so you can see the difference where you're just not getting as much information in this specific format as you would be in the previous format, the MOV 100 megabits per second file. This file right now you're looking at is the MP4 file, 24 megabits per second at 24p. What do you think? How does it look? I'm curious, if I shot this entire video in this format with the lower bit rate, would you be able to tell? I know these cameras are amazing and they do an amazing job. I'm just curious to see if just this specific format works. You know, my older Panasonic stuff, the G6s, even the GH2 that I had for years and years ago, those also have lower bit rates and people shoot with them all the time. The G7s, I love the G7, I love the G6. All those cameras don't have 100 megabits per second files. And they still look great. Luckily, I have a GH5s, this camera. The GH5 allows me all these options to choose from, so I can keep my file sizes small, not use up a lot of drive space. I'm just curious to see what the quality looks like. Is it holding up? Does it look good? Did it get too bright? I think the exposure went up a little bit when I changed the formats. It's hard for me to tell on the little monitor. Could I get away with shooting with the MP4? Could you get away with shooting an MP4 at 24 megabits per second? There's nothing wrong with this. It's not unusable.
What do you think? Something to think about, isn't it? I can't wait to see this on my big monitor. It's going to be cool. I hope this prompts you to explore your settings, mess around with your formats. You don't have to turn everything off. You don't have to boost everything. Thanks for joining me. Hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends. I'll see you next time.